If you want to be successful in business, then you need to communicate in these two ways. And this shows you that there's different levels of thinking, so that when you communicate, you can influence and persuade people with ease. Your customers, your team, your colleagues, other businesses that you partner with. My name's Alex Morgan, and I help you boost your business, and I help you boost your business fast. And I also help you let go of limiting beliefs, because you were born limitless and it's time to be limitless again. So there's two main ways of communicating, but there are also ways of thinking. So how we actually think about communication, because we can talk way down in the details, or we can talk really way up here in the big picture. Now, there's a main difference between each of these, and the main difference is when we talk in details, it's going to be harder to agree on everything. When we talk in the big picture, it's going to be easier to maintain agreement with people. Now, if we have a group of people and we need to run a meeting, we can assume that it'd be a good idea to start with the big picture. We need to tell people why they're there, for what purpose they're there, so they're motivated to listen. And then we can go into some details. Some other common ways to use the big picture would be, let's say we're setting goals. We need to know for what purpose are these goals. What is the highest positive intention of these goals? So these are two questions you can ask. For what purpose? What is the highest positive intention? Because this will give us what we call a nominalization, which is essentially a word, a verb, that's been turned into a noun. However, these are the words that are going to motivate us. So what's the purpose of your goal? Maybe it's freedom. Maybe it's results. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's love. Maybe it's, better communication. Maybe it's synergy, togetherness, whatever it is, cooperation, collaboration, whatever it is for your goal. So you can use the big picture to get your goals, to be motivated towards your goals. However, when you're setting your goals, you need to ask yourself, what specifically do you want? So you need to go down in your communication. What specifically do you want? What is another example of this? What is an example of this? How specifically do you want to achieve your goal? Who specifically is going to be there with you? So you need to ask more specific questions so you can achieve your goal. So we can use this with goal setting. Another way that we can use this is we can use this when we're talking to people during a sales call, when we're talking to potential new customers. So we can ask people, hey, what's the purpose of you getting on this call today? And we can go up so we can find out what motivates them. What's important to you about being here today? What's important to you about solving this problem? And they're going to give us this information. And then they start talking about their problem and all these different things that are going on. And then we can also, how specifically have you tried to solve this before? What problems does this specifically bring to you? And then they're going to give us more information in the details. So we need to be able to communicate in both ways to get information that benefits us. The one thing that we need to be careful of is if we're way too far down in the details with someone, and someone is asking us a bunch of questions. Let's say we have a potential customer and they're asking us a bunch of questions. Let's say I have someone coming for a training and they're asking me how many techniques are in the training. What are all the subjects we're going to learn? How many lessons are there? How long is it going to take? And all these things. So they're really down in the details. Now, if I sit there and I just answer all of their questions, like I said earlier, this is where you can disagree down here. So if I'm going to just answer all their questions, what if they only want 6 lessons and I tell them it's 12? What if they want to learn a bunch of techniques and they want to practice all the time and it's not as much practice as they thought it would be? Well, then they're going to start disagreeing. So I need to pull them back up and I say, look, I'd be more than willing to go into all your questions. However, let's just take a step back for a moment and look at the big picture here. Earlier on the call, you said that you were here for this specific reason. Now, what's the purpose of you being here for that specific reason? And then they can tell me, oh, I want to, be able to make lots of money and help people get the results that they want, and I want to change myself. And I could say, awesome. So, if you could make lots of money from this training, and you could get the results that you want, and you could also help people do the same, does it really matter how many lessons there are? Does it really matter how many times we did a technique? They'd probably say no, as long as they get the results that they want. So be careful when you're talking to people that they're not too far into the details, because this is when they can find ways to disagree with you. However, if you get them back up like I just did and show them, hey, you're here because of the things that are motivating you, and that's what I could help you with during this training, that will put a good picture in their mind, and people will most likely want to buy what they want from you. So be careful of people kind of nitpicking at every little last detail. So you want to be able to communicate with both, and you want to pick up on how people are talking, because you can tell, are they talking down in the details, or are they talking more in the big picture, and you can kind of match how they are speaking. So me personally, I like to talk more in the big picture. So if someone is going over so many details and so many details and so many details, at a certain point, I'm going to get bored. However, if a person is more detail-oriented and you're talking way up here in the big picture all the time and you're not giving enough details, they might be confused. They might get overwhelmed. An example of this is a lot of people, they'll say, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed about everything. Now, could someone possibly be overwhelmed about everything? I don't think so. So in this case, you could say, okay, I don't know if you're overwhelmed about everything. What specifically are you overwhelmed about? And they'll say something. And then you could, okay, what specifically are you overwhelmed about that? And then you could find what is really bothering them. So that's another way to use it. So you need to also pay attention to people's language and how they're using it, so you can kind of match them where they are, so you could help them get the most results. So if you want more information on this is something that I go in depth on during my trainings, especially during the days on linguistics and communication, because this is a really easy way to influence and persuade people and yourself with ease, so we can create win-win situations so everyone can get the results that they want. That's what everything I teach, that's what we want. We want everyone to win, everyone to get the results that they want. So if you want more information about that, all my information will be in the description of the video. Thanks so much for watching. Go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I hope to see you on the next video.